Hey everyone, it's Ellis, and this is the new champion, Milio. I'm not entirely sure on how to pronounce his name, and I'm sure that I will continue to butcher it until I actually officially hear it from Riot, and even then, I might continue to. I do think that it's a little bit strange. Everyone here has Miles in it, so I'm thinking that it's Milio is what we're going with. This is the new male enchanter support that is set to release, I guess, sometime soon. I thought that we were getting the Darken champion before this champion, but nonetheless, from the leaks that ended up coming out from the Chinese server, I reacted to that. It was on the highlights channel. Obviously, this one's on the main channel. His kit looks extremely broken, so we're just going to go straight into it. So in those videos, we didn't have the passive. Now we do know about the passive. It's called Fired Up. Milio's abilities enchant allies on touch, making their next damage deal a burst of extra damage and burn the target. So, this is what it looks like. And you can just see that the damage, the burn is magic. And it ticks very quickly. So this is akin to, I think it's like Ezreal's old W or something, right? The spell flux that used to be able to afflict allies or something. So Milio's ability can afflict allies and cause them to just deal a little bit of damage. I mean, it's a very simple passive. We move on, and we'll see what the next thing is going on. As Ultra Mega Fire Kick. Wait, what was that? Hold on. What is that? You guys see that? That's 45. So this is level 18. That means that's cheap shot. Okay. So, all right. So I was like, wait a minute. I mean, it might not be cheap shot, actually. Wait, 45 would be cheap shot? But maybe his Q just deals true damage? No, okay. It's cheap shot. Okay. Okay. So his Q looks like it's some combination of like a Ziggs Q or something. Milio kicks a ball that knocks back an enemy. That's a cool interaction. The ball launches upward on hit and falls towards the enemy, damaging and slowing enemies in area upon impact. So I assume it's a skill shot that collides with the first enemy hit. The ball launches upward on hit and falls toward the enemy, damaging and slowing enemies in the area upon impact. And then obviously, yes, because of the slow, it applies cheap shot. And so that's what's going on there, which is interesting because it means that the Rioter is taking the domination tree. So maybe like Electrocute or something is considered to be like the rune for him. Overall, very, very generic. Obviously, pretty standard for an enchanter mage type support to have some sort of like poker ass. The knockback feature is really cool, especially for like surviving ganks or something like that. But so far, we're pulling from a lot of different champions that exist in the game. Like this has like a very Ziggsy feel to it. Passive has like the Ezreal. And we'll just see what else is going to go on. The slow, I mean, I can't imagine like what's going on. It does seem like it does collide with the first enemy hit. And then it knocks it even displaces actually. Okay. W, Cozy Campfire. Milio creates an empowering zone that heals allies and increases attack range to those inside. The zone follows the ally to the nearest cast point and can be recasted. Okay. So I imagine that's like Gwen's W. It can be recasted to be moved. Note, Riot have stated that attack range increase is 10 to 20% based on ability level. So that'll end up scaling up. 10 to 20% is absolutely massive, even for champions that only have 500 range. I mean, you're still talking about 100 range increase, but for champions like Caitlyn, yes, it's going to be massive. For Twitch, if he's activating his ultimate, Kog'Maw, another type of champion that's going to get insane benefit from this. This is really, really nuts, but not even just for those champions. I mean, I assume that melee champions also get range while being afflicted by this, and so, I mean, that's pretty cool as well. Overall, just seems like a really busted ability. I didn't know that it healed the allies while inside it too, because that's going to mean that he's going to have multiple heal and shields inside of his kit. And that just doesn't seem normal, especially because, okay, it's also giving the passive to the ally because we can see the burn on the target. I don't know what's going on here. Seems like a very simple but overloaded kit in terms of what it's doing for being so simple. It's really strange. And then obviously there's the little ball thing moving around. That's really bizarre that he can just move it. I mean, sieges are going to be really... I mean, I guess it really is truly cozy with that pouring there. E, Warm Hugs. Milio tosses a shield to an ally, temporarily increasing their movement speed. Okay, that looked like there was 2 charges. So it looks like there's charges, or the cooldown is just uber short. I don't really know what's going on with that one. But no matter what, this just looks like uneasy. Now, obviously, there's not going to be a reflect. This is probably just going to be more centered around like the ally type thing. But still, it's really strange. So again, a lot of things pulling from a lot of kits right now. Our Breath of Life. Milio unleashes a wave of soothing flames that heal and remove crowd control effects from allies in range. And we also see that it's healing them. So it not only cleanses everything, it also heals. Note, Riot have stated that Milio can't cast this to self-cleanse when he's CC'd. That's really good. Silent, stunned, etc., and it has a very long cooldown. So, still, it's pretty bonkers that it's an AoE heal plus cleanse. It's going to be really nuts if you're just smorking into the opponents. It's going to make it very difficult for people to do stuff. Combine this with the Q knockback, the increase to the range, the speed up with the E, etc. It just seems like Milio has an uber simple, because nothing is difficult in his kit. He actually has almost no skill shots. He has the Q, which is a skill shot for sure, but then every other ability is really simple and pretty much puts the entirety of the weight onto the other person. It's almost like YUUMI, where YUUMI just has the one skill shot on the Q, and the amount of utility that this champion is giving to your team is not balanced, and it's too simple. And so I feel like there's already a base problem with the champion in that the champion's kit is too overloaded for how simple it is. And so either the numbers are there to support the kit always just being a meta mainstay, because I think that's exactly what will end up happening, or his numbers are too squishy, they're not strong enough, maybe the ability to imbue or empower your teammates with whatever is just not strong enough, and thus the champion is not viable over other enchanters. That could definitely be a problem. But this is just fairly strange. Riot, I think, has said in the past that they do want to keep releasing simplified champions with, not too many overloaded kits and whatnot. Obviously, that hasn't always been the case with some of the newer releases, but this would definitely be in tune with that. So I don't really know what to think. Now, it does look like with his kit that it's going to probably be extremely unlikely that he actually can go into another lane, because it seems like there's way too much dependency on actually helping out your teammates. The W and the E almost seem entirely useless if you're solo laning. I guess not the E, but the W would definitely be really useless if you're solo laning. The E doesn't seem super big enough if you're solo laning, so just to have one ability in like mid or top lane, I don't think is going to be a thing. So I think in that regard, it's going to be good. And then obviously the R is absolutely bonkers inside of team fights. So that is so that's one splash art. This is another splash art. I'm trying to think if he reminds me of anything. This has like a Tinkerbell feel to it. I'm not really quite sure what's going on there. But or like Candyland or something. And then obviously there's the okay, he's playing like soccer, and then that's like his best friend. I mean, I can see them doing a lot of cool things with these skins. Halloween theme, Christmas theme. I mean, there's just so many cool possibilities, obviously, with this champion. I don't know what to say, guys. Riot is releasing another YUUMI almost. It seems like. Now, obviously, it's not quite YUUMI in the sense that, there's no interaction, because obviously it can be tied down. I'm curious what his movement speed is. I'm curious when we'll actually get the numbers on his abilities, as well as what ratios he has. We already do know that he deals magic, and it does seem like he can be extremely oppressive inside of lanes. So, thank you, Riot Games. And we're all just going to now continue to wait for the Darkened Dog to end up coming out. And that is, I think, going to do it. So I will see you for the next champion release. I hope you guys enjoyed this rundown of these abilities.